I'm Meg Thompson-Stanton. I'm coordinator of the Laramie Public Art Coalition, and I'm the first staff person that the coalition has hired. And the Laramie Public Art Coalition is a non-profit organization. We're not part of the city, county, or university. We are an independent nonprofit that is under the Wyoming Community Foundation while we get our nonprofit status. Our mission is to enhance the visual and cultural vibrancy of Laramie and Albany County in a manner that encourages participation from all of our citizens. The Laramie Public Art Coalition, like I mentioned earlier, is a nonprofit organization, and we are funded by a mix of private and grant money. Our largest private donor is from Pete Lean & Sons, which is a quarry north of town. We're very appreciative. They gave a 5-year commitment to get LPAC started, and then we've been able to use that money as matching money for grants. So we applied to the Wyoming Arts Council as another funder, the Wyoming Cultural Trust Fund, and the Laramie Beautification Committee, and the Guthrie Family Foundation. We've gotten money in the past from those organizations. We do get some money from the city of Laramie and Albany County through the Community Partners Grant that we apply for every year. We are not a City of Laramie entity, so while we may partner with the city to do certain projects on city property, oftentimes people get upset. They think that the city is funding murals or public art but not paving the streets, and that's not the case. Almost all of the public art that has been done in Laramie so far has been funded through grants and private donations. So the Public Art Coalition started because a group of citizens who were, some of whom were part of starting the mural project, realized that Laramie should have an overarching public art plan. And they applied to the NEA through the City of Laramie, the National Endowment for the Arts, for an Our Town grant to hire consultants to develop a public art plan. And they got that grant. And then they hired some great public art consultants, Jennifer McGregor and Renee Paichaki, and they came to our community and did a really community engaged process of finding out what people here want to see in public art. And then they worked with the committee to write a public art plan for Laramie. And that plan is the Public Art Coalition's guiding document. So there's sort of like an old model of public art where public art sort of shows up in like a park, a public place, where the decisions are made sort of behind closed doors by decision makers in the community who historically make decisions. A newer model of public art puts more emphasis on the process and involving more community members, sort of in the belief that people should have a say in their public space and a diverse section of the community should be involved in that decision. We definitely operate more on that newer model of public art. So we are very focused on the process of public art being as important or even more important as the art piece or the object or the experience that comes out of it. A call process that happens with public art today that is common is to go through an RFQ process and an RFP process. So an RFQ it's short for request for qualifications, and this is a call so any artist that see it can apply. So you get more diverse applicants, you get more engagement, and it's again sort of a counterbalance to a small group of people selecting an artist that they know. You'll get applications from artists that you don't know and you haven't heard of, and it just creates a more diverse pool of artists and pieces to pull from. So the RFQ process involves artists apply with images of existing work, and oftentimes a cover letter, references, resume, bio, and there'll be a selection committee formed. So you try to have people that have something at stake and knowledge of the area where that piece is going, as well as community representation on the selection committee. And it's helpful to have artist professionals on there to help because they're familiar with the process. And then my job is to facilitate that process. LPAC doesn't select any art. We only facilitate the process. So artists will apply to the RFQ and the selection committee goes through everyone's application. Usually we try to set it up a blind jury process, especially if it's a local call, because everybody knows everybody in town. So that's one way that we try to keep it more equal, is to have a blind process. So people look at images and they don't necessarily know what artist it is. And then they will select usually a few finalists from that round. And for the RFP round, which is request for proposals. And in that round, artists get paid to develop a specific proposal for that project, that site. And then the selection committee, and then the artist will come present their proposal to the selection committee, and the selection committee then selects from there. You know, artist is a very difficult profession, but it often doesn't get treated as a profession. Like, you wouldn't ask doctors or lawyers to do work for free, so we don't ask artists to do work for free. So the RFQ process allows artists to just apply with work they've already done, and then the RFP process, you're paying them to come up with an idea specific for a site. We do community engagement and professional development for artists. So last spring, we actually did a field trip with artists to go to Denver to meet with public art fabricators. Because in the public art field, for large pieces, artists don't always make them themselves, because that's a lot to ask an artist to know how to like design, come up with, and be an expert in every field. So there is a field of public art fabricators that specialize in working with artists to help everything from the proposal rounds to seeing how much a piece would cost to make, seeing what's possible, to all the way through to making it and installing it. So the public art field can be difficult to break into, because what happens, like in any field, is as artists across the country get projects and get their portfolio built up, they get more known and they start to get selected more for projects. You know, ideally, public art reflects the identity of a community. Part of the way we're trying to help that and help local artists also break into the public art field is to have professional development workshops. And in a community our size, where we don't have a lot of funds because we have a smaller population, so it's harder to fundraise, doing temporary pieces often costs less money, so it's more economical, and it allows artists to experiment more, because you don't have the challenge of this piece has to last forever in our windy, high environment. And you also, you can see how the public responds. It's okay if the public doesn't like it. It's not going to be up forever. Another advantage of temporary pieces is that you get to rotate them more, and so you have a fresher scene of public art. If you like the public art in Laramie, you can support it we have a donate link on our website, laramiepublicart.org. We also have volunteer opportunities. Please go out and enjoy the wonderful public art that we have here, and let us know if you have any ideas, suggestions, or want to help out. Because the public art in our community reflects the people and identities and assets of our community, and we want to keep that going.